Are you ready to be provoked in your mind, inspired in your spirit, and stimulated to be a better you? Then get ready. TNT, Tuesday and Thursday, Inspirational Talk starts now. And we are live again. This is the Thursday night edition of the TNT Talk. I am your host, Bishop Tyrone Smith. And tonight, unlike all of our other nights, I'm flying solo. I've given First Lady Savannah Smith, I've given her the night off. She is the boss lady on her job, and she is really, really towing a load right now, and she's got a lot of responsibilities. And so gave her the night off, but she's alive in the chat. So if you all would be so kind to say hello to one of the most beautiful women in the world, she's my wife, Lady Savannah. Y'all could just holler at her for me. And she's in the chat, everybody. Appreciate you being on tonight, sweetheart, as you are doing what you do for your job. Listen, tonight is going to be real good, but before we do anything, you already know what you got to do. You got to like, you got to share, you got to invite, and let everybody know that the TNT Talk Thursday night edition is on the air. And tonight is going to be a continuation of what we started on Tuesday night, which seemingly has become a very hot topic, and that is the state of the heart of the man. We want to talk about men. We want to talk about men. We want to talk about the condition of their heart. We want to talk about the things that they go through. So I want you to invite a man on and let them know that tonight we're coming to talk about you. And we're not coming to talk about your negative, unlike some of the other times and things that have been narrated. We're not coming to do that tonight. We're coming to uplift. We're coming to strengthen. We're coming to help men to know that there's another man that appreciates you. And tonight, we are not going to have just one guest tonight. We're not just going to have two guests tonight, but we're going to have three guests tonight. All of them are my partners in business and in life, and it's really going to be good on tonight. So listen, I need you to share, like, and invite right now because it's really going to be good tonight. First, I want to take this moment and I want to bring the first person from the green room up into the stage area. Listen, I have known this young man since he was 9 years old. And his father was my pastor and still very much a father to my life. He means a lot to me. And he is my primary lender partner. And I'm grateful for other lender partners that I have. Certainly, shout out to Spencer Bangert and to Jessica Sullivan, who are very much partners with me. But this guy right here is my primary lender partner. We have been doing business together now for almost 3 years, and it doesn't even seem like it's been that long, but we're going into our third year having collaborated, doing business together, and I could not find a better person. It's wonderful when you get a chance to see someone as a young man grow up to be a citizen, model father, and a person who understands business. And one of the reasons why I brought him, because he has an interesting part that I think is going to be very good in the narrative of our conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please welcome my friend and my partner, Mr. Daniel Mack. Daniel, it's great to have you on, sir.
Am I on? Am I live?
You live.
Okay. I'm trying to see myself. I can't see myself. I can just see the screen share. Okay. On my side, it's a little, I'm trying to catch up. So forgive me.
Well, listen,
we'll get the producer to chime me in.
Well, you're in.
There we go. I think I got it now.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I think I got it now.
All right.
There was a button that I was neglected to know to push. I had to push a certain button in order to get here. So now that I'm here, okay.
All right, so I'm gonna deduct that out of my producer's pay. I'm gonna deduct it out of his pay.
Listen, they used to tell me if I miss a quarter in church, dock. You have to start when you start docking people, then that's when they know they need to get on their job, and because they don't want to get docked again. because that's gas money. So it's great to be here tonight, and I think this was a long time coming
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
show,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
it just I think is the right time and the right season, man.
It is definitely the right time. It is definitely the right season.
Yep,
And even with the other partners that are going to be joining us tonight, the sensitivity of the subject matter and the professionalism that you all bring really makes this show really, really important. It's not just the fact that we're going to be talking about the state of a man's heart. It's
that's
the
right.
fact that we're going to be talking about the state of a man's heart and then coupling it with the responsibility that comes along with being a man. And so, Daniel, real
Big
quick,
time.
just real quick, just the people, real quick, who you are, what you do, and in particularly, let me just plug this because I didn't want this to go by before we got into the heart of the conversation.
Okay,
I know that I've gotten a lot of comments on the intro and even some of the commercials and things like that. But I want to be very clear, ladies and gentlemen, those that are watching this live and those of you that are going to be watching this as a rebroadcast, that man right there is the one that is playing the track and the music producer for the music to our intro. So I need you all to thank God for the gifting of not only just being a mortgage lender, but a phenomenal musician as well. So,
thank you, Bishop.
so Daniel, please just tell the people. I done already plugged you a little bit there, but
Yeah,
just
yeah,
let
I
them know.
appreciate that. So I'm Daniel Mack. I've been in finance for every bit of, I wouldn't say 22 to 25 years now. And then I would say over the last good 10 years, last decade, I've become a private mortgage dealer. So lender, national lender, work for a national company,
Yeah,
mortgage, any type of residential asset or real estate, you could find me pretty much chopping it up and rubbing shoulders with the best of them. So, and then previous to that, I've worked at every major bank. I've worked in every position inside of the bank, inside of the
yeah,
storefront, and
yeah.
I think I've done almost every job inside of the banking system by now. And it's the only type of job or career I've had since I became, an adult. So I haven't had
Wow.
any experience in any other genre or any other industry outside of finance. I believe in being a good steward over the finance. And as long as you do right by the people, the people, you'll wind up getting wet by some of the finance as well because you're taking care of others in the process. And so that's how it's reciprocated back to me, and I'm able to continue to do what I do and stay in the business for this long. It's a blessing.
And it is because not very many people tenure this long.
Yes.
Many of them they peak and
Mhm.
then unfortunately they drop off
Yeah.
because with everything you must understand trend and you must understand evolution and
Yeah.
how to stay relevant. And it is
That's
not
right.
easy, but it takes wit, it
Yeah.
takes wisdom,
Mhm.
it takes understanding where you fall in society and how you are effective in doing what you do. And
That's right.
so
Yeah.
I'm grateful that you have stayed this long. And then when we found out that uh, wow, we're pretty much in the same business arena, and we came together. We just been working together ever since. And I'm telling you, it has been absolutely wonderful.
It's
Absolutely
been a pleasure.
wonderful.
It has been a pleasure, and I got to thank you, man. There was a lot of life lessons learned in between the time that we were not working together. A lot of things that were taught to me by my dad, and I'm pretty sure some of those lessons, flown over to your side as well.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I think that was some of the foundational structure that we have to this day in finance. As when we were at my dad's church and I was growing up and becoming who I am today. So, it's good to work with partners who you understand on a personal level, as well as they help you to make your job a little bit easier, because this is a complex industry with things always changing. And so to be able to work with partners who make the job a little bit that more manageable,
Yeah.
tolerable,
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, man, and I just can't thank you enough for that because we've had some not so great partners, and
Yes,
some
indeed.
things had to change. And I'm grateful that we have had, the changes and we're on the other side of that now because we don't need that type of partnership to muddy
No,
up the
sir.
business and muddy up
No,
what
sir.
we have here as far as reputation, as far as business and professionalism. So, that all goes hand in hand when you're dealing with clientele in this industry.
Absolutely. And to that part about those other partners that we've had to show them the door, it's because the one thing we just cannot tolerate, you cannot bring negative energy. You cannot bring things that are unethical, immoral, because it stymies the ability for us to do good business. And we cannot afford, when we're already dealing with adversities anyway, we
Yeah,
don't need any extras to hinder us from doing what we do. So I
yeah.
reciprocate that feeling earnestly. I reciprocate
And,
it
and
earnestly.
any type of financial dealings or transactions, they always come with their own set of emotions. And so it's just that much easier to deal with the various personalities and things that come your way if you have great partners.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you can carry a little bit of the load, sometimes I can carry a little bit of load, and vice versa to the circle. So I believe that those are the attributes that we need to continue to stay consistent in business and for us to continue to go ahead and thrive and move forward right now in this economy.
Well, listen, I need everybody right now. If you, as you're looking at Daniel Mack in the window, you will also notice right there, you'll notice that his information is right there. All right. I need you all to
Okay.
go ahead and get that information. His website is there and also his email is there. If you are looking to do a refinance and is it that time to do a refinance?
Oh, yes, it
It
is.
is a beautiful time in the neighborhood.
Yes, it is.
I need you to take full advantage of it. I want to say I endorse Daniel Mack. I endorse Daniel
Thank,
Mack. I
thank
am
you.
telling you, you are going to get the professionalism that you need. You're going to get the industry knowledge that you're going to need. You're going to get the morality that you're going to need because at the end of the day, one of the things that you got to have in a lender, you need someone who's going to be ethical and moral
Yeah.
because it matters when it comes down to your money. It
Mhm.
matters when it comes down to your financial portfolio. It
Mhm.
matters when it comes down to your future.
Yeah,
Don't play with your future and not have the right people in your corner. And
that's right.
as I say that, I want to bring my next guest up. I met this man a few years ago while we were in another studio and we were talking about things that were going on in the city at that time. And we walked away from there and we just clicked. And the relationship that we've been able to develop, the things that I've had a chance to watch him do with his lovely wife, shout out to his lovely wife, Hennifer Gant, that they work together to do some phenomenal things in the business industry. And we have now partnered. He too is a partner of the Smith firm and agency. And I want you all now to, with a very warm welcome, to receive my other partner in ministry and in business. Please welcome Mr. Reginald Gant. Reginald, it's good to have you on, sir. Come on in. Good to have you here. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Bless you, Bishop. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Can you see me?
Yes, indeed. We can
Awesome.
see you. We definitely can see you. Reggie, listen, what can I say? We have had many conversations behind the scene.
Yeah.
We have been really, it just really was a divine timing because it was just inevitable that we were just going to do some business together.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. And when all of this was happening with the development of my firm, I mean, when you reached out to me, I said, "Oh, this is a no-brainer right here." I mean, if there was ever something that people really need to know is estate planning, they need to understand trust, they need to understand legal matters that some people think are so far-fetched. but they don't even really know it's really quite practical and they definitely need it. And so here we are at this stage, now at this level of partnership. So not only are you on because of our partnership, but you are also on because of the subject matter itself. And I want you to just take these next few minutes, introduce yourself to this platform of individuals, and then let them know about that authored book that
Yeah.
ties right into the subject matter on tonight.
Well, first of all, Bishop, thank you to you and First Lady, your whole team behind the scenes. You guys are nothing but first class. Like you said, we did meet a number of years ago. Actually, I remember it was through Pastor Antoine Burton. Shout out
Yes,
to
it
him.
was. Pastor Burton.
Um, but I've
That's
been
my guy.
admiring you from afar for a long time. So I just hold you in high regard and I thank you. But, as for me, I'm a Baltimore native, born here, raised here, still here. My wife and I, we have 5 beautiful children, one daughter, 4 sons. And I do a lot of work with men, so much so that I started my own organization a number of years ago. It was called Serve for Men. Actually, I'm saying it was past tense. It is called
It
Serve.
is. It is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because I saw a need, Bishop, especially around the 2015 year ish when I got married. um, I found that there was sometimes things that I needed as a man, as a father, as a husband that I could only get from another man.
Absolutely.
So I started the organization with the premise that we would have men's meetups and we would have real talk rap sessions because what I've noticed is that men have a desire to talk. We just don't have the right environment. We don't
That's
have an
it.
environment that's conducive where we can be safe and vulnerable. So I created one for myself and others, and it's been growing, by leaps and bounds. And now I'm looking to do some partnership work and things of that nature. And from that, I've stemmed off some books. My latest book tonight, I'll probably touch on it here and there. The book is called Male Pain, and it's all about breaking your chains to achieve greatness. Because unfortunately, Bishop, male pain is something that touches each and every one of us.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
a male in our lives that has caused us pain in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And whether we want to address it or not is a different story. But male pain is something that is global. It's not just an American issue, it's a global phenomenon. And I did some research about it and I wrote
Wow.
about it. And I love to talk about it.
Wow. Wow. Well, first of all, the book itself, I need you all to understand that that book is actually out there and available. Reggie, please let everybody know where they can get the book at because male pain seems to be something that I think a few of the brothers that may be watching may want to just go ahead and get that book.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully the producer will drop that information. But the website is www.serve. It's the number 4men.com. So it's serve 4men.com, but that's the numerical 4. You'll see that book. You'll see enough, about one or two other books that I've written, and also some of the other work that you and I do together. They'll be able to see all of that on the website.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the producer is going to put that on the screen
Yeah.
so that way all of that information can be made available. We want to make sure all of you all, because of your expertise, we want to make sure that whether these are live where they can get this information while they're watching now, or if they're watching it as a replay, I want to make sure that that information is available where they can see it, they can get it, and they can get in contact with you all. Certainly, if for whatever reason they can't get it, they can reach out to me. I can certainly plug them into you all so that way they can make those connections because your level of professionalism, what you all do, is such an asset in so many ways. And I want people to benefit like I'm benefiting as a partner. I want them to benefit from knowing who you are. And so, Reggie, I'm thankful for you being on tonight. It's going to be real good. We're going to have a real engaging conversation. But before we go any further, I got to bring my next guest. He's our final guest that's going to join us live on screen. He is my spiritual son in ministry out of Chicago, Illinois. And he is also very much a businessman as well. And he will share with you what he does, which ties into this conversation as well. And I'm grateful to God. What's unique about our relationship is that he was only trying to do business with me because of my graphic design company. He was contacting me to just get a seal done because he was being consecrated. And from that conversation, he realized that there was something more than just contacting me about getting a seal design. And now, these years later, I have now had the privilege of spiritually being a part of his life and helping him in the development of ministry. Want to certainly shout out his spiritual mother, who we have a great relationship with out of Memphis, Tennessee, Apostle Bernice Williams. I appreciate her and who she is in ministry. And there'll be a time where we're going to bring her on as well. But I want to bring my son up right now. He is the pastor of Manifested Glory Worship Center out of Chicago, Illinois. Let's welcome the Bishop, Theron Mitchell. Theron, it's good to have you on tonight, son. Welcome to the platform.
Good to be here. The Lord bless you, and it's great to be on and to be with you. And once again, I count it an honor and a privilege.
It's going to be good tonight. So, Darren, I talked about how we met and how that connection was made. And again, I told a little bit of that story, but just add a little bit more detail to that, and then tell the people about who you are and what you do, and certainly how it ties in to this whole conversation that we're going to have tonight.
Absolutely, not a problem. As mentioned in the preview of my intro, I only wanted a seal. That's all. I contacted his graphic company, and I needed a seal for my consecration. Believe it or not, 6 years ago. I was thinking
It
about
was
that.
6 years ago?
2019. Yes, it was. Was that 19?
I'm gonna have to start counting my gray hairs, Reggie.
1918, no, 2018, if I'm not mistaken.
2018. Wow.
Whatever the 6 years add up to. So, but we met. I just needed a seal for consecration. My spiritual sister, twin in the ministry, she says, "Hey, brother, go check this guy out. Check it
Oh,
out.
right, right, right. We
Enjoyed his work,
absolutely.
and was like, okay, yeah, book that." After I said book that, I think we had a 3-hour conversation about life.
That's about right, Daniel, isn't it?
Nothing else. And what was even worse
He can't hear.
was
We
I,
got we
I,
got
I can hear, but I can't see everybody else. I'm trying to
Oh,
work
okay.
through it. Yeah.
Okay.
and
I'm
what
sorry,
was
son.
no problem at all. What was even more interesting is I didn't even tell him what I wanted on my seal. I just told him I wanted a seal. After the 3-hour conversation, he came back with what not only the Lord put on his heart, but exactly what the Lord gave me that I saw in a vision. So I'm like, okay, it's a God thing. We're moving together and we're moving into this. And years later, we continued to talk. He continued to mentor me. He adopted me himself. He says, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch you. Yeah, I'm gonna watch you from a distance. You're gonna be my spiritual." So I said, "No, I'm good. I'm a rebel. Just in case people don't understand, I'm good. I'm off on my own. I'm good. I don't need no covering. I don't need." Yeah, the Lord said different. And as I said, 6 years later, not only are we covered spiritually, but we are covered and united in covenant with business. As
Absolutely.
mentioned, one of our joint ventures is insurance, and I am a life producer. We started working together in the Baltimore area, and now I am extending our connection up here to the Midwest level, and we're developing our agencies and things up here in the Midwest level and in Chicago, and we're going to continue to weave it all together because we got connections all over these 50 states, and we gonna blow up. I'm sorry. Yeah, we and it has been a godsend that this man has been given to me as a partner, a mentor, and a spiritual covering.
I appreciate you. I really, really appreciate you. And we really got a lot of more ground to plow. And for those of you, if you ain't figured it out by now you can clearly see that these relationships were orchestrated by God. This is a God thing. There's no way that you would have a Reginald Gant who will talk more in depth about what he does in terms of estate planning and law, and then you get Daniel Mack, who is also a originator of loans in all 50 states, and then you add Theron Mitchell, who's a life producer, and then with my firm, we can go into all of these different states. This is, ladies and gentlemen, the new business model. And I know we're going to talk about the hearts of men, but I want to just make this clear that the new business model that will become the norm is that if you are only trying to originate business within the circumference of your local footprint, you have already failed. You have already failed, because now diversification and the ability to go broad is going to be the new way. Ask Amazon. Ask Amazon. That, if you want to know why Amazon is in a hostile takeover, because what they've decided to do was take something that was as simple to try to deliver and or become a distribution center in a local area. They realize we can go anywhere, we can do anything, and the only person that can stop us is ourselves. And if you're not adopting that type of mentality, you
That's
have
right.
already failed. You have already failed. You've got to have enough confidence in yourself to know that you are much bigger than just the four walls of your house. You are much bigger. And so, listen, now that I got everybody on, we're at the bottom of the hour. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to get into the heart of a man and talk about it. Listen, this is the Thursday night edition of TNT Talk. We'll be right back.
More Americans are driving every day to work, to school, to church, or just to travel. And with all the new drivers on the road, accidents are sure to happen. Are you frustrated because your insurance keeps increasing? Are you shopping for a new car but need a good insurance rate? Then call Goosehead Insurance, the Smith firm and agency, the DMV's leading insurance broker. Whether it's a new car, too many tickets, a history of accidents, DUIs, or simply it's just too expensive, scan the QR code on the screen or visit us online at www.smithfirm.agency and submit an application for a quote. It only takes 2 minutes, and with AI technology and over 23 carriers to assist you, we can bind your policy and get you covered in the same day. Give our agents a call at 443-264-4398 or visit us online at www.smithfirm.agency. We're not just an agency, we're a standard of excellence.
Also sponsored by PGEE Graphic Design. We design with you in mind. We offer an array of graphic designing for you, such as step and repeat backdrop banners in every size and every banner type. Vertical banners such as X-frame and retractable banners in all sizes. Booklets and pamphlets, seal and logo design, flyers which can be digital or printed, vinyl banners, teardrop banners, car magnets, window mesh banners, and so much more. Call us today at 410-793-7238 or email us at pgee.graphic@gmail.com.
Edition of TNT Talk. I am your host, Bishop Dr. Tyrone Smith, and we are going to be talking about the state of the heart of the man. And we're going to bring our guest back up momentarily. But I wanted to take a minute and just kind of show y'all something. I saw something that was real crazy, and I was looking for something that I was trying to find. Um, well, I was looking for something that I was, trying to find something old in an old box that I had, and I stumbled on something, and I got to thinking. I was like, oh my God, how you go through a box and you see something and it's real old, and you're like, whoa, this is amazing. Well, I don't know if you all can see this, but this is a certificate of completion. Uh, when I was a cell phone salesperson. I had my own store. And during the time I had my own store, we had to go through these trainings. And this is actually a certificate of completion from Nextel. Those of you that ever had a Nextel phone, you'll understand this. I actually showed this to my son, and he couldn't really make heads or tails out of it because, unfortunately, he didn't even know what Nextel was because when Nextel was hot and heavy, it was 1999. He was born in 2000, so he didn't even know what that was. So, uh, and then I found this, and this is really going to kind of age me here a little bit. Uh, this is uh, a portfolio I had when I had to do corporate presentations for corporate companies, uh, doctors, and police officers, and things like that. Uh, when they wanted to get our products, and so uh, y'all ain't gonna believe this, but this is when I was offering AT&T, uh, and there's some of the old AT&T phones. If y'all can see that, um, that's some of the stuff that I was doing presentations, and that's when digital was really coming out really heavy at that time. And so we was offering that, and then I got to show you this. Y'all gonna get a real kick out of this because while we was also doing that, y'all will probably remember this. We was also offering uh two-way pagers. I don't know if y'all remember those. Only a selected few will understand what those were. I got a whole generation that probably don't know what that is. But I got to thinking, I said, oh my God, I think I'm a hoarder. I got to get rid of this stuff. But it was certainly fun seeing some of that stuff that was at a time in my life when I absolutely was enjoying being a salesperson and doing some of the things that I was doing. So, Mr. Producer, I want you to bring back our guests. Let's start off with Mr. Daniel Mack. Let's bring Daniel back up and let's bring him back on and let's see who else we can get back. Sometimes technology is not as friendly as we want it to be. And so were we able to bring Daniel back on? Let's see if we can get him back on. All right, Daniel, we got you back. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
All right.
Can you
All
hear me?
right.
Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic. All right,
Yeah,
got you back.
looks like we had some technical issues.
Technical
Yeah.
issues, it happens. And we're working through it. I got the
Excellent.
best producer in the land, so I got
Yeah.
full confidence that he gonna get it right.
Oh
So
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah. Just some troubleshooting and to get us by. So right now, Bishop, with the economy has been inflated, since, and I hate to go here, but since we've gotten Biden in office, it's been outrageously inflated. I mean, I'm talking about everything went sky high. He ran on everything going sky low, taxes being cut, no inflation, and
let's
so just looking back at
I
the
mean, just
last
tell me
4 years.
tell me how you really feel.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. So just looking over the last 4 years, we have experienced quite a bit of inflation and quite a high interest rate. The interest rates went from anywhere from 2.5 or 3% all the way up to, I mean, I've seen as high as 9%, whether that's on the investment side or the residential side. But now rates have started to come down a little bit. And
Right,
so what
right,
that means
right.
for the average homeowner, during the last 2 to 4 year period, if you've paid attention to the market, you've seen where the homes have appreciated substantially. Me personally, I think my home had appreciated in value over $100,000. And so
Right,
I know I can't be
right.
the only one who has experienced that. And so now would be a good time to leverage some of that equity so that you could, one, consolidate some of the debt that we build up because of inflation. I mean, out of 10 clients, I see at least 6 to maybe 7 right now have a bunch of credit card debt, a bunch of debt where we have just been swiping, trying to keep up. And, it's not your fault. You've just been trying to keep up. And so now you would be in a position where you want to leverage your asset, which is your real estate, to pay off or consolidate, that debt. And so you can start clean, you can start fresh. And the reason why you should do that, let me tell you, no one asked me, but I'm gonna let you know. The reason why you should do that is because if you look at your credit card statement right now, you'll see that your interest rate is every bit of 27 to 32%. Okay.
Don't tell them people that. Don't tell them that.
These are real numbers.
Don't tell them that. That's, oh my God.
Okay. So just imagine, you've been swiping and you got a credit card bill anywhere between $2,500 all the way up to $25,000. I've seen it. Okay. You will not be able to pay that credit card off right now. It's as impossible. But you can be smart and use your asset, which is your home, to consolidate it. And the money will be much cheaper for you to borrow if you borrow it from your home versus swiping or going to get a personal loan, which is unsecured. A personal loan is going to be every bit of 17 to 20% on a personal loan. Just ask me how I know, okay? I'm telling you real numbers here. All right. So also credit cards, again, 27 to 32%. Now, when you're talking about a refinance, which will be a cash out refinance, you're looking at an interest rate of anywhere between 5.5% all the way up to 6.25%. Now, just do the math on that, okay? You got a credit card bill that's at 28%. Okay?
Right.
You got a personal loan that's unsecured at 20%. And then now you got a cash out refinance at, let's just say for round number, 6%. Okay. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that you should be at that lower amount as far as your rate when it comes to paying something off or charging new money, anywhere that. Also, you want to know what your housing expense is going to be, your set housing expense for the month. Okay, you don't want to look up 1 month you have a housing expense of $2,000, and because of the activities financially that you've done in that month, next month your housing expense goes up to $3,500, and that's about a HELOC. I'm not going to get on that, but I'm just saying everybody's been taking HELOCs.
Yeah,
those interest rates on HELOCs. Listen, it's a problem.
Now, I'm gonna stop you there because somebody was asking. They said, "Well, aren't we supposed to be talking about the heart of men?" Well, we really are. It's just that we flipped it. So Daniel went straight to what is one of the toughest things that men are having to deal with right now. And somebody would say, "Well, what is that?" Based upon what Daniel just said. It is trying to figure out the financial part of managing their house.
That's correct.
This is what this is. I know it may not sound like what we did on Tuesday. Well, the reason why I brought these team of individuals, these guys here, the reason why I brought them was because, we could talk about the emotional part. But I also wanted to talk about the practical part that comes along with a man being a man. Sometimes it's harder to be a man when you don't have solutions. Somebody type in the chat solutions. We've got to have solutions. We could talk about the emotional part, and we will, but we also have to address the solutions that are going to help us to become better men. So this is the reason why he went straight in. And let me also say this so that you all understand. The reason why he went straight in, because he been waiting for a minute. He been wanting to just, I need to talk about this. I need to talk about this. And I kind of figured, I said, well, it ain't going to take but a few minutes. So I'm going to see how long it's going to take. And next thing I know, he was out the gate. He was out the gate. So I'm not mad because, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's going to take for a man to be a man now. Let me say this. what it took to be a man, to be a father, and to be a husband about 25, 30 years ago has completely changed. Can Theron, am I right? Theron, am I right? Reggie, am I right?
Yes, sir.
It,
Yes, sir.
you see, I know that my father back then, who was a blue collar worker, got up every day, he went to work and he worked and he came home. He did not have to sit with me to do no homework.
Mhm.
He ain't go to no PTA meetings. He had to do no Zoom meetings with no teachers to talk about no 504 plans and all of these other things that comes along with being a man. He didn't have to do any of that. The only thing, the measurement, listen very careful, the difference between what Daniel just explained and what I'm saying is this: the measuring stick of what it took to be a man and a father back then versus now is substantially higher. Because back then, the only thing that you had to do was put food on the table, make sure there was a roof over the heads of the people in the house, and make sure there was clothes on our back. That was it. But, and Reggie, I want you to chime in right here. Reggie, can we honestly say right now, 2024, can we say that if the only thing that you did as a man was put a roof over their head, put clothes on their back, and food on the table is sufficient enough to say that you are a good man and a good father? Yes or no?
That's an absolute no.
Talk about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, now we live in a world where we have a lot of women that work, right? We have
Oh
a lot.
man, here we go.
We have a lot of women that are actually, leading the household. And you actually now find a lot more men that are actually doing the things around the home that women used to do: the cooking, the cleaning, the
Yeah,
dropping the
it's
kids
gonna
up.
get it's
You
yep,
know,
the pot's thickening right
I
now.
mean, real
It's
talk. Like
thickening right now.
I'll just share my personal example. My wife and I, we're married right now. We have 4 children, right? We got 4 boys at home right now. They're 3, 5, 8, and 13.
My Lord,
And
I'm praying.
and I'll be real, right? It takes a team. It takes both of us, her and I, to coordinate our schedules around activities, around pickup, around drop off, around what's for dinner. I mean, vacations, the whole 9 yards. So me just going to work, coming home, handing her a paycheck, and saying, "Hey, you do the rest." Absolutely over.
See how it's changed. See how it's changed now. Aaron, now I get a chance now to really show you the diversity of these three gentlemen. Now I know, but they don't know. Now y'all just heard Reggie talk about the infrastructure of his house and how it works, right? Y'all just heard this. All right. Now, this guy right here, I'm sorry, this guy right here, Darren, is in Chicago. Now, Darren, talk about your situation. Talk about your guys, because so Reggie got boys, one girl. Darren, how many boys you got?
Reggie, I understand. I got 4 boys myself, and they say experience is a great teacher. And I'm gonna do just like my grandmama used to do. I don't understand why you didn't listen to me. I'm just gonna throw this out there so you can have it when it comes. Mine is 26,
Oh,
24, 22, and 18.
oh, I'm
So I'm
jealous.
done. Oh, I'm sorry. I felt feelings right there. I'm done. But I had a conversation with them because this is a great topic. You're talking about the emotion, the heart of a man. If you're really a true man and you're raising men, can I say this? Black men,
Ah,
you're concerned that, can I go there? You're doing well.
You
And
doing
so
well.
I
You
I
doing real well.
I asked them, I said, give me some feedback on how I did as your father. because, as he mentioned,
Wow.
that was over. Going to work, I did all that. Went to work, did all this, and running around. But as you said, I had to go to bowling, I had to go to baseball, I had to go to, and me and my wife had to do that. Both being in IT, she worked with the post office. I work in IT with IBM for a while, and we're just all over the place. But I had to come back because also being a minister, one thing I learned, I will not allow the church to replace my family.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
I
All
have
right.
Absolutely.
boys that looked up to me, and if the church came before them, no,
Mhm.
mm-mm, can't do. The church is not my bride. I got mine at the house. That's the Lord's, you know. And
Hmm.
so I asked them. I said, so they said the only thing we wish would have happened is if you would have gave us just a little bit more of your time. We understand you was
Wow.
working. We understand,
Wow.
and that's important. Make
Wow.
sure you continue to pour into them.
Wow.
Make sure you continue to give to them, but make sure you give them your heart as a man
Wow.
because they're soaking it all up as sponges. It may not seem like it now, and you're gonna be like, "Y'all hard headed." I didn't, but trust me, you're gonna smile with the greatest smile when your youngest do something and your oldest say, "Hold on, Dad, I got this one." And he mimics and quotes you word for word. I almost choked my son out when he did that. I'm like, wait a minute, you knew that and you still never mind. Okay, Jesus, you got this. But I give you that encouragement. Make sure you continue to pour into them
Yeah.
Mhm.
and still be that number one dad girl. But your guys want your time.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. So I'm glad you brought up girl dad. Glad you brought that up because that's a great segue. Hey, Daniel, you got
Hmm.
kids?
Yeah, yeah, I am a girl dad. Oh man, and it changed my life totally.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
I know we on a live, but I'm gonna let you know what I told her, and we'll just keep it that way. I told her every year her daddy buys a new gun. Every year she turns another age, her daddy buys another gun.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what I told her.
Oh,
That's it. And I said, listen, I'm she's 10 right now, so
oh my. Oh my.
so so you see how this is going so
Forget
far.
the assault
Um,
on ban
you
the,
know,
the ban on assault weapons. Oh my.
I'm just saying that's just I know we live. I don't want to get us kicked off
Hey.
live, but you know, you're looking at a registered. I'm a collector. That's what they
Huh?
have me down for. They changed it. They changed it. They changed me to a collector when I got
Minute.
past 4.
Wow.
Let me
So
find out that you didn't become a gun collector
I am.
in
That's the
in your
title that's
parental guidance.
on my license. It says collector. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I mean it's real,
Oh
man.
man.
he has the
It's
peace that passes all understanding.
I
yes,
mean,
that's right.
the mini
And
pieces. The mini
it will
pieces.
provide you peace.
Huh?
If your mind is stayed off my daughter.
That's right. Yeah, I don't. That's just how
Oh
it.
boy.
That's how it's shaping up currently. So, but yeah,
Wow.
it's been a great experience because it taught me a little bit more about understanding women, you know, and so
Wow.
you
Wow.
know
Wow.
that was one that was deep for me because to that
Wow.
point, I'd like to think I had a good head on my shoulders, but I think that allowed me to kind of slow down and start to understand it more on a deeper level instead of just not just on the surface, if that makes sense.
So with all of us, now here's the common denominator. Reggie has 4 boys, 1 girl. Theron has 4 boys. I
Hmm.
have 3 boys. Daniel has 1 girl,
Hmm.
right? Now, if you listen to all of us, and certainly you all have heard my, me being the father of my boys, my executive producers, my oldest son, and then my middle son is up in Michigan at school. My youngest son is here going to Mount St. Joe. And so we're very much involved. And you've heard me say openly, number one, and I like Theron, number one, I'm not losing my children to the church. Number one. Number two, I don't care what's going on. I'm going to be there. Number three, anything that goes on, I'm going to be the one that you're going to definitely have the conversations with. And certainly that's not to take away anything from First Lady, because First Lady is very much a part of their lives. And honestly, there are times when I found out that there are private conversations that she was having with them before I'd even gotten involved. And so that's where that parenting, dual parenting was very, very essential. But the common denominator in all of this is that, as you can see, you can still father and be successful in business.
Correct.
Are y'all
Correct.
hearing me?
So
You
true.
don't have to choose one or the other. You can have one and the other.
In fact, it fuels. Actually, one fuels the other.
So good.
Really, talk about it.
Yeah.
Because, because you make a great point right there, because you said having your daughter actually added value to you as a man.
Yeah, I think the family dynamic fuels the need or the want to be more successful, because at the end of the day, it sounds like we have a common theme where we all want to be, that person for our family, and we want to be able to provide for our family and be that leader in our family. And so I think that the family dynamic is what gives us the drive and the purpose to continue to move forward, and the sacrifices that we make for them, regardless if they ask us for it or not. It's just like we know that we have to fill in certain gaps, and we know we have to be there. So I think that family dynamic just drives us into the business animals that we can be if we need to be, because we know the bottom line. And that's a big one, because, knowing the bottom line, my brother here made a point about some of the women are in business now and they're making top dollar or whatever like that. But at the end of the day, they still need, the guidance, and they need the leadership from the husband or the partner to kind of drive them so that they can continue to be successful. So I say
Absolutely.
that family at home, your children, your wife, your husband, that's what fuels you to get up every day and continue to drive and to be successful. And I think without that purpose, I don't think, it just doesn't give you as much purpose or drive. It doesn't fuel you as much if you don't have that. They're like your cheerleaders at home. Like, they're cheering you on, they support you, they want you to do well, and they want you to continue doing well so that you could be around for another 1,000 years in there.
So, do you think that when you look at the role of the woman versus the man, one of the things that I said the other night was that a man, while he is certainly very responsible for a lot, if he's really in the role that he should be. Now, we know
Yeah.
that there are differences that come along with that, but when you look at the man in the situation and then you look at the woman in the situation, can we honestly say that where a woman can strive and it be tough, and she have the freedom in the public eye to share the emotional letdown that she may be experiencing while she's trying to do exactly, because Daniel, like you were saying, you know, while we're trying to do what we're doing, we're motivated, we're doing, we're working, we're thriving, we're pushing, we're doing all these things. But sadly enough, when we're not feeling it or when we're not there,
Hmm.
we don't have the same liberty as a woman to be able to just say, I ain't feeling it. I ain't there. I
is that even a thing? Is that a thing?
and see, that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. Is that a thing? Is that even possible? Any one of you, and any one of you,
Oh my
tell
goodness.
me at
To
what stage in your guidance as a man could you can just stop and just say, today I ain't feeling it. Now I don't want nobody to get sensitive about what I'm getting ready to say. Don't nobody get sensitive about what I'm going to say.
You going down a slippery slope,
But
Bishop?
but I don't need nobody. Don't nobody come for me when I say this. I'm just trying to parallel something. But there's not one day when you can say, I got cramps and I ain't feeling it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Bishop, that's such a fantastic concept, because I have this conversation all the time with men, right? When I have real talk, and I love the fact that I get to talk real with men, right? Because we receive it. Those of us that consider ourselves mature and and we don't mind accountability. But I remember a number of years ago, somebody said something to me. Growing up, boys, we always had like our favorite superhero, right? Whether it was
Right.
Superman, Batman, didn't really matter, right? And in our minds, what we were really envisioning was that one day we would grow up to be the superhero.
Right.
So I'll use this example, because this is what I heard a number of years ago, and I think is really critical. The reason why I started the men's meetups that I did, a number of years ago is because I realized that it's okay for us as men, as fathers, as husbands, to not always be Superman, but sometimes guess what? We can be Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm.
We can be a regular human being who has emotions, who has down days, who break down, who aren't feeling it, and we have to be okay with that. But I think that society wise, we just need a whole rewrite on what the
Whole
new
rewrite.
definition of manhood is, because the old definition is no longer valuable. It's no longer valid. We need to rewrite what is manhood. And honestly, to me, it's vulnerability, it's transparency, because all of those things lead to freedom. It's communication. Our dads may have not talked back in the day, but guess what? We have to talk to our young men and our young women now, because we have to educate them and raise them up and let them know of the world that we live in now. And you need to be able to articulate what's going on, how you feel, what you want to happen, what you don't want to happen. So, gone are the days when we can just hold it in. We now have to flip the script. And I tell it all the time, sometimes we have to unlearn things and
Wow.
relearn them all over
Wow.
again.
Wow. And
Mm-hmm.
unlearning is actually harder
Yeah.
than learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
harder
teaching old doctrine.
because you're mechanically already, you're psychologically already, you have developed into this person, and then for someone to now come along and then say unlearn that or don't do it that way. It's the reason why First Peter 5 and 7 is so difficult for us to really do. First Peter 5 and 7, cast all your cares on
Mm,
him because he cares for you.
yeah.
The problem is you've been waiting your whole life to do what you want.
Hmm.
Then he comes along and says, no, let me do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want to do that. No, I need you to trust me and let me do that. That's very difficult because we've been waiting and we've been developed. Society has been telling us all along, especially those of us who have any age on us, that at 18, life was changing because you had been hearing all along that once you get to be 18, you was hitting the door. And that
Yeah.
was pretty much how that was going to work. Now, sad part is you was hitting the door whether you was ready or not. So you then went out to develop manhood with no manual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How do you become something and you never really had any type of manual? And who was doing the updates to the manual
Mm,
because life was changing?
Yeah.
Who who was doing that?
that's
Who's
heavy.
who's doing that? What you just mentioned, the theory of the Superman thought process. Well, here's the problem. Yeah, Clark Kent was certainly the other character, but see, Clark Kent didn't get the same type of response
Yeah.
like Superman.
Hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
for us, especially in the positions that we have been, and those of us who had low self esteem, we have been ambitiously chasing the dream of acceptance. And the danger of acceptance is that the audience that you are trying to be accepted by has rules that they never told you. And so you're trying to get their attention, you're trying to get their approval, only to find out that the rules say we was never going to approve you. We was never going to accept you, no matter what it is. And until you learn the identity of who you are, which is what Daniel was talking about owning the fact that having this responsibility did something for me that I wasn't going to get nowhere else. It helped us to become who we are. Now,
I'm gonna say something. Can I say something there?
Jump in. Yeah.
So I believe the newer generation, and this speaks to what our brother was talking here about, being there for your kids. I believe the newer generation, I think we have been there for our kids a little bit too much, to the point where they are now handicapped by going out into the world and making themselves, getting themselves prepared, because we didn't want our kids to go through what we went through. So we have been giving them things, and now they can't do nothing on their own. Okay. I mean, that's what life has come to. And so when we say we have to unlearn things, now it feels bad in a sense, because we are handicapping our kids. They can't go out here and do anything on their own. And at some point, you want to love them, you want to over love them, but the experience of life and going through trials and ups and downs, with that, it brings you wisdom, it brings you knowledge, so that you can survive. If something were to happen to your parents or whoever's supporting you, you want to be able to raise your kids where they can go for themselves at a certain point. And they're not like you said, when we turned 18, we had to go. Look at the 18-year-olds today.
They ain't going nowhere.
Please. Can they tie their shoes? Can they make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Can they on their clothes? I mean, I'm just saying, this is
peanut butter and jelly. They don't even know what that is. Because we
had
fast fooded them so much.
Yeah, you can't air fry it and push a button. Don't even think about it. So I'm just saying, like, at a certain point, at a certain level or a certain dynamic, yeah, we want to love them and make sure they're good, but they also have to learn to have experiences with life, the things that taught us, that now they have to be taught or they have to learn. And sometimes it's something that we can't provide as parents.
Well, all right. So Theron, I'm coming for you, Theron, on this one. I'm coming for you on this one. Based upon what Daniel just said, I'm gonna ask a question. Now, this is real talk. This is unscripted. It's unedited. This is real talk. I'm gonna ask a question, and Theron, I want you to jump in. Each one of you, I want you to jump in, but I'm gonna start with Theron. Daniel, based upon what you just said, which is in a sense a type of entitlement. Okay. So I'm gonna ask this question. Do you think that, given the evolution of the Black man and what he has had to come through, even when you think about slavery, when you think about the things that have happened in this country, when you think about the systemic things that have been done to remove the Black man from the family dynamic, do you think that the system, I would say inadvertently, because I don't know if it was purposeful, but it certainly is playing a role. And as a matter of fact, my brother just came on, and I might pull him in here. My younger brother is on, and it would be very unique, because there's some things about my younger brother, and Daniel knows, that would be very interesting to this conversation. So, Mr. Producer, I need you to reach out there and see if we can pull him on. But here's my question. Based on slavery, based upon what has happened in this country, based upon the system that has been developed to really drive the Black man out of the house, do you think that the way that we have been handling our kids really is nothing more than the byproduct of everything that has been shaping us up until this moment? Is this because of what we have been given that we're doing it, and now recognizing that, wow, Daniel's right. I wanted my sons to have a video game, but I didn't want the video game to have my son. I wanted my son to have Jordans, But now I didn't want my son, his whole identity, to be wrapped up in a pair of sneakers. So now, is this the byproduct of the system that we have been really shaped that has caused what Daniel has been talking about, which is a sense of entitlement?
Oh, that's so good. Oh, and
It's
there's so
juicy, man.
much that was going on with that. And I wanted to jump in. I'm gonna beat my little brother, the spiritual guy back there. He texting me, jump in, Bishop. I see you got some. Leave me alone. I want to deal with first that whole Superman thing. The reason why Clark wasn't a real important figure, he was too busy trying to conceal what he already was. He didn't want everybody to know he was Superman. So he concealed that. I feel that's a big part of, we don't want to conceal that can I say this? Conceal that we're black because of what you said. The
Wow.
issues, the slave, we concealing that. And so we put our glasses on. You can't see my eyeballs because it look like the same person with that curly swoop in his head with an S on his chest. We
Wow.
don't want you to see that. So we're concealing that.
Wow.
You made a comment, forget peanut butter and jelly. They can't write in cursive. They can't tell time on
What
an
you
annual
say?
clock.
What
We're
you say?
concealing. I feel, my generation, like I said, full disclosure, I'm 50. I feel I dropped the ball because I learned all that. I learned how to write. Can they endorse a check? Can they sign
Endorse
their
a check.
name?
Can they write a check? What
See,
do you endorse
do they
it?
know what paid to? This is something that has been concealed, in our identity, and so it's like, And as you mentioned, and as my brother Daniel said, we were so busy coddling and making sure they didn't get or don't go down the road we went. I ain't gonna never let my kids do what happened. And we gave them the Jordans, we gave them the PST, the Xbox, the Atari, the Coleco. I'm sorry, went back. Yeah,
You done went
all of
back
that.
too far. Did you say
Hey, you brought out
Atari
the
and
two-way radio, the
ColecoVision?
sidekick,
They
He
don't
went
know what
back.
that
all
is.
back.
that,
No,
so
you need to come on back,
No,
Bishop.
no, he all the way back. He all
You went way back,
we
like
gave them the video
ColecoVision.
systems, and
Tell you
it was
something.
like, go ahead.
Everybody in the chat right now, do you even know nobody that is north of 30? Do you even know what ColecoVision is?
yeah.
I showed my son my certificate of my Nextel, and he had this look on his face like, what is that?
No, don't nobody know that. Don't nobody know that.
They don't know what that is. They don't know what that is. I saw a 2A pager, and he was like, what is that? He had no emotion at all. He don't even know that one time in our lives was the way that we were communicating with one another. They don't even know what that is.
That was the
They have
first
no
picture.
idea that there was a time when we put up a phone that was actually on the wall in the house, and we dialed it this way in order to be, and when we dial one number, we had to wait to think all the way back around before we can dial the next number. They
And it
don't
better
even
be
know
the
what
right
that is.
number.
They don't know what that is. So peanut butter and jelly, ColecoVision, man, come on. My son, my youngest son, this is real talk. My youngest son said about my granddaughter, which is his niece. Let me tell you what he said one day. And First Lady, if she watching, she will confirm this. So they were going to, she was going to pick Destin up from school. Listen, you're talking about coddling. You talking about entitlement. Listen to this. He go there. She's going to pick him up from school. As they're no, she's going to drop him off school. So as they're pulling out, she happens to look at all the little kids getting on the bus, right, going to school. She says, "Oh, she said, look at the little kids getting on the bus going to school. Amora will be doing that soon." Destin, Destin said, "No, she won't."
Hmm.
He said, "No, she won't." And she said, "What do you mean?" He said, and I quote, my niece will not be catching the bus to school.
Yeah.
He said, my niece will be riding in a luxury car to school. No lie. First Lady, if you are in that chat, I need you to confirm what I just said. He said she's going to be riding in not she's not getting a car ride. He said a luxury car.
Hmm.
So she said, wait a minute, you didn't even do that. You had to catch the bus. Say, yeah, I know, but it's going to be different for her.
Yeah.
And that's what Daniel is talking about. The reason why he thinks like that, because my son rides to school in my $90,000 BMW that when you push the button on the side, it has massage chair, it massages the chair and everything. So he's conditioned to believe that this is normal and all of us are going to have it.
Mm.
Well, well, we want to give our kids better, but at what expense
Hmm.
are we now jeopardizing their ability to be relevant and to be able to function if by chance your cell phone stops working? God forbid.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all know when them cell phones stop working, them kids almost lost their mind?
That's worse than COVID.
It's one deeper than that. But then it's not even a cell phone, it's Wi-Fi.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Let me
You
tell you
turn the
something.
Wi-Fi off in your house. Turn the Wi-Fi off in your house. See what type of demons come out. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Wait a minute.
That house, that $1 million house turns into zero value when you turn that Wi-Fi off.
Ain't nothing to do.
Guaranteed.
Ain't nothing
Reggie,
to do.
They
Reggie,
go
is
like
that
this,
is
like
that true?
roaches. They got to get out like roaches.
That's absolutely true, Bishop. We just took our kids to New York, over the weekend. We did Coney Island and Times Square, Manhattan, and Brooklyn, and they didn't have access to technology the entire time we were gone. You would have thought that we were the worst parents on earth, boy.
What? They went to
Bad
Coney Island
faces.
and they felt like that. I
They
ain't even been to Coney Island.
they still wanted their tech.
Mm-hmm. That's
I haven't been to Coney Island. I mean, I haven't been
the
to
world we
Coney Island.
living in.
Yeah.
But the lessons, it reduces the interaction between humans because that technology just drives the wedge further and further between the family. It really
And so
does.
I just want to confirm, First Lady's in the chat with her eyes real big. She said he sure did.
Well, we know that to be true.
Well, I mean, y'all know me. I mean, I need you to co-sign that. Thank
Listen,
you.
know.
I need you to co-sign that.
Come on around and listen. Come on around and pick us all up because we all can get a ride.
Listen, so as we done went past, so tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick commercial because I got another guest. I broke what I said. I'm bringing on another guest. He's got to come on because he's gonna add some more value to this conversation. We're gonna take this commercial break and be right back. This is the Thursday night edition of TNT Talk. We'll be right back.
More Americans are driving every day to work, to school, to church, or just to travel. And with all the new drivers on the road, accidents are sure to happen. Are you frustrated because your insurance keeps increasing? Are you shopping for a new car but need a good insurance rate? Then call Goosehead Insurance, the Smith Firm and Agency, the DMV's leading insurance broker. Whether it's a new car, too many tickets, a history of accidents, DUIs, or simply it's just too expensive, scan the QR code on the screen or visit us online at www.smithfirm.agency and submit an application for a quote. It only takes 2 minutes, and with AI technology and over 23 carriers to assist you, we can bind your policy and get you covered in the same day. Give our agents a call at 443-264-4398 or visit us online at www.smithfirm.agency. We're not just an agency, we're a standard of excellence.
Also sponsored by PGEE Graphic Design. We design with you in mind. We offer an array of graphic designing for you, such as step and repeat backdrop banners in every size and every banner type. Vertical banners such as X-frame and retractable banners in all sizes. Booklets and pamphlets, seal and logo design, flyers which can be digital or printed, vinyl banners, teardrop banners, card magnets, window mesh banners, and so much more. Call us today at 410-793-7238 or email us at pgee.graphic@gmail.com.
The Thursday night edition of the TNT Talk with my guest tonight, Mr. Daniel Mack, Mr. Reginald Gann, and Bishop Theron Mitchell. And tonight, as I said, I thought it was only going to be three, but then there was a fourth one. Almost feel like I'm preaching the scripture. I'm going to bring in my fourth guest. He is my younger brother. He is one of the coaches for Newtown High School. Y'all welcome my brother Sean Smith to the platform. Hey, bro, how you doing tonight, man? It's good to have you on. Welcome to the show. We got to get it. We getting them in. We getting them in. My producer is working to get them in. Yeah, that's good. Just put them right. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's bring them on in. Let's get them on in. Let's get them in.
Is that a peanut butter and jelly? Is that peanut butter jelly?
That's what it look like, bro. I think you're setting the stage, man.
I can't make this stuff up.
I think you're setting the stage, man.
I can't make it up. I'm just saying.
And you know what? And it's funny you would say that because honestly, I would venture to say right about now, peanut butter and jelly is actually a real delicacy right about now.
Hey, listen.
Look, I ain't. My wife could make some peanut butter jelly right now. I'm telling you, I'd be in the corner in my chair rocking. Just
at the
like
risk
that's.
of
Listen,
at the risk of starting a fight.
come on now.
I'm
That's
not a fan of the peanut butter and jelly in one.
look.
jar.
So my
No,
brother
make
back
me
there, he back there making sandwiches. Sean, you with us tonight? I brought you in. You with us? We got to get your volume. We got to get his volume.
Yeah, he
Let me
making
see.
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
He literally. I mean, it was almost like he was watching the show.
Yeah, he probably was.
Can we get his volume, Mr. Producer? Sean, can you hear us? Sean, can you hear us? I feel like the Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Sean, you should be. Make sure you're not muted on your end because you are not muted on this end. Make sure you're good. Because all the lines, I'm fortunately I can see. So try it now. Sean, can you hear me? You can hear us though, right?
Mhm.
You can hear us? Take your AirPods out. I think your AirPods may be the issue. And just go just raw. We so technological now. We talking with our AirPods. We don't even. You know what's funny? There was a time we used to laugh about big cell phones. Remember that? Remember that? Like, ain't nobody carrying that thing around. That's too big. Now the whole thing covered the side of our face.
Mm-hmm.
Try it now, Sean. You there?
Y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
there you are. There you are.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you now. We got you
How y'all
now.
doing?
We good, man. We good. We good.
What's up, Coach?
What's going on, Daniel? What's
Good,
up,
man.
Bishop Reginald?
No,
How
that's
y'all
great.
doing?
So Reginald just became Bishop there.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Oh, we not there yet. Y'all jumped the gun too early.
so, so Reginald has just been
Hey,
consecrated as
There it
bishop.
is.
hey.
Congratulations.
So listen, Sean. So we're talking about a heart of a man, right? Now,
Yeah.
our situation is very unique. Shout out to Bishop Mike Wallace. He's on. Appreciate Bishop being on tonight. So um, our situation, many people when I was younger used to think that you was my son, right?
Right.
Now, the reason why that was because our father wasn't there at that time. And so I had to not only manage my life, but I also had to manage your life, right?
Right. Yes.
And so that meant I didn't have time to just say it's all about me because I had to make sure that you were good. And there
Right.
again is where, as a man, we don't get a chance. Like I didn't, wasn't a choice. It had to happen. A real man understands that there's some things that are non-negotiable. It's got to happen. And so, Sean, talk about the times that we grew up and how that happened and what happened, and certainly during that cell phone time because that was definitely some good times that we had back
Yeah,
then.
absolutely. Um, so many of y'all don't know. Me and my brother is 11 years apart, but you would think we practically almost grew up together because I always was with him from sun up, sun down, 24/7, 365. It was just me and him. Now we do have a older brother, but it was mainly just me and Bishop. So growing up it wasn't it was easy. I'm not gonna hold you. It was definitely easy for me. My brother kept me on a straight path. He did not play when it came to me. Education. He basically took care of me as long as I did right in school, and it was an easy path for me. I ain't had to worry about running the streets because he was always there. Whatever I needed him. Yeah, my father he was alive, but he wasn't in my life. So all my teaching and learning came from my brother. So if y'all want to know why I'm like that with my sons, I basically mimic what my brother did for me. So I take pride in fatherhood. I got two boys. I have a 7-year old and I have a 9-year old.
Team Smith, that's who we are. I done lost him. Now, so as he said that, he's back. Okay, you back. You there? Can you hear me? I see. We see you, but we don't hear you. So let me say this as he was making that comment about me being in his life and how I was raising him and how it was a non-negotiable. Now I'm gonna make a statement, and the statement I'm gonna make is not an indictment against anybody. So I don't want nobody to get offended by what I'm getting ready to say. I'm just talking from a place of what I was given. It was the hand that I was dealt. There was no options about it. This is the reality of what it was. My father was unable to do anything in terms of being a father. He was going through dementia at that time. There was a lot about his life that was pretty much coming undone. Financially, he couldn't do it. These were the cards that I was dealt. And because he was my brother, I was not going to lose my brother to anything and anybody just because my father, who was my father as much as he was Sean's father, I was not going to lose my brother just because he didn't have a father. I became his father. Now, in me saying that, let me say this. It's real easy for a lot of people to say, well, this is what happened and the reason why I am what I am is because my father wasn't there. I'm going to tell you right now, there is a difference between a situation that has happened and a choice you got to make. There is a difference between a situation that has happened and a choice that you got to make. I was not going to allow the situation to become my choice. I chose to do what I knew was going to be beneficial for my brother, to make sure that he was good. That's what a man will do. He don't have time to emotionalize any of that. Many times with us, it is straight mechanics. It's real simple.
Yeah.
I gotta get up. I gotta go to work. I gotta make sure there's food on the table. I gotta make sure stuff is done. I gotta make sure that I'm the protector. I gotta make sure that if I don't have the answer, that I can get to the answer. This is what it takes to be a man. And the reason why I want to talk about this heart thing is because Reggie, you made a good point. While we're doing all of this, the toughest part of it is that we don't ever really get a chance while all of this is going on. We don't get a chance to say, man, this is painful. Man, this is tough right here. Um, Daniel had something that happened to his life that happened to my life, and we had to take one of the toughest times in our life, and we had to register that tough time as a bridge to better days. That's how we had to handle it.
Yeah.
Daniel lost his mom, which was my pastor, and when she passed, and while everybody was emotionalizing all of it, including him, he had to take a whole different course in order to get to where he is right now. And there are other parts which, because of confidentiality and some things, I'm just not going to say. But just know this: the man that you see on that screen doing what he's doing, I'm going to tell you right now, he could have easily, based upon the situation, chose a whole nother course or direction. He could have took a whole different course. But because he decided to make another choice instead of just living from the situation, that's what it takes. We don't, it's different with us. It's different with us. Now, am I saying that women don't do that? No, I'm not. I'm just trying to make an identity point to say, but for us, the weight that we have to carry and the way we have to do it, where a woman, like I said on Tuesday, where a woman could be standing on the bus stop and tear up and start crying because of the pressure. If a man is on that bus stop and he starts doing it, and particularly a black man, it is not going to be received the same way.
Yeah.
He is seen soft. He is seen as somebody who can't handle nothing.
Fragile.
Right.
And unfortunately, as a black man, that ain't accepted in society. Even though we have as much right as anybody to feel anything.
Yeah.
My point is, it is not looked at equally. True or false, Reggie? True or false?
True.
It's just not. It's just not. Darren, true or false?
True. Yeah.
Ain't no way. It's just no way. If you was on your job in the middle of doing what you was doing, all of a sudden you just start tearing up, sitting in front of that computer, and because you like, man, I'm trying to be a good father, trying to get my sons, keep them on the straight and narrow. I'm trying to be a good husband. I'm trying to deal with the ministry. We ain't gonna talk about that part. Trying to handle the ministry. I got everybody else's problems that I'm trying to manage and manage my own. And I'm sitting at the desk, and all of a sudden, man, just tears start rolling down my face because the pressure is just so much. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be viewed the same way. True or false, Daniel?
And that's true. It really is true. No matter what people may say, it's still that narrative there, that underlying text there that says, hey, you have a job to do. And when you have your tear moment, because sometimes we all get there, I don't think we put our tears in public as much as women would. I would say it's safe to say that, but we do feel the crunch. I'm pretty sure. I know I do. And sometimes it becomes overwhelming where you do need to take a step back and you do need to, I wouldn't say have a boo-hoo cry, but sometimes you know the emotions get to you and you might shed a tear. You
But
know,
is it bad that
you might shed a thug tear. Excuse me. You may shed a thug tear. You know, but I just say that I'm not saying that to
what
be.
is a thug tear? Like, come
Listen,
on now.
I'm not saying that to be like some kind of manly thing. I'm just saying you're not just gonna sit there and just bawl boo-hoo in it. You know, you're gonna have a moment, and that's gonna really fuel you to get back to your thinking process, so that you can get your head back in the game. You know, because sometimes we get overwhelmed with things, and that's granted. You know, I'm not sitting here. None of us are machines. You know, and we all do have emotions, but
Definitely.
I believe men, we have to handle those emotions a lot different than our counterpart.
Well, Sean, so I need you. So you got two boys, right?
Yeah.
So you got two boys, and so talk about your parental guidance with your two boys. Like, how are you handling life? You know, where is your moment where you shed a thug tear?
Wait, Bishop, before you even jump in there, Sean, I wanna give just in case y'all missed it. This is a real life exhibit. Sean came on. I don't know where he came from, but he came right in the kitchen. And if y'all didn't notice, he was making this lunch for the kids. Now, you ask, when does it stop, Bishop? No, it don't. Their feet don't stop growing. Their pants just to get short. You got to continue. He making lunch. Wow. You said you can work and you have to work and do. I just wanted to point that out. He done packed
And
the lunch.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because you know what? I just realized when you said that. Do you know when a woman does that, it's high praise. It's high praise when she do it. We're watching him do it right now. Ain't nobody gonna come on that. Ain't nobody gonna go in the chat and say, man, wow, it's a black man who's holding it down for his kids, making lunch. He's on a live. And look, let's be clear.
Multitasking. We can't multitask.
Look,
I'm sorry.
He come off the camera. You see him in the cabinet. He making sure he doing everything he need to do. When a woman does it, she is Wonder Woman. But when a man does it, it's more like, oh, wow, we don't see that very often. But how come the predicament is not the same? How come there's no high praise for a man when he does it like it is when a woman does it?
It's
Talk about
expected.
that.
It's already expected. You know, you're not going to get praise for something you're expected to do.
You see that? You see that? And and again, is what Daniel just said. Show me the lie. Show me the lie. Show me the lie.
So you saying it's a double standard, Bishop?
I'm not trying to say anything. I'm telling you, 100% a double standard.
Are you saying it's a double standard?
Okay. So hold on. Let's address it then. So how is it that in the system will grant a woman to get assistance as long as the man is not there?
Yeah.
But when the man is there, they reduce the level of assistance that she can get because he's there doing what he's supposed to do. And let me go ahead and say this, because that's my brother, and I'm gonna bring it up. My brother is fully responsible for taking care of one of his sons because he has had someone who has absolutely been taking advantage of the system for years. And you would think after your fourth child, your fifth child, that you have now come through this system, that they would not say, wait a minute, are you making this a career? Are you making this a career? So
You're going into
you
a
mean to
whole
tell
nother
me,
lane right
so
now.
are you, yeah, I'm going down this road. And you mean to tell me that nobody that's in the system is going to have enough dignity to really take a closer look to see whether or not she's manipulating the system? Because here's a man who's been taking care of his son. He's been in his life. Man is doing what he's supposed to do. It's a hard problem when that man wants to have a thug tier because he's looking at a system that he knows is unfair. He's looking at a society that does not treat him fair. He's looking at a school system that don't treat him fair. He looks at a criminal system that don't treat him fair. But yet when he does it right, he can't even get praise for when he does it right. Is it wrong? It's wrong to the high hill.
Bishop, the fact of the matter is that, you know, we live in a country that was never really designed for us to begin with. If you
What
really
you say now?
if
What
you
you
really
say?
look at it, the way that we started, the way that we were yanked over here, beaten, emasculated, ripped from our families, this country was built on the premise where, you know, the black man is not respected. He's not supposed to elevate.
Man, you just said
He
something
wasn't
right
even
there.
considered a whole person. You know, at one point in time, from what the history books say, we were like a third or a half of a man or something like that. Like we were never designed to be successful in this land.
Fact. Fact. Shout out to William on being on tonight. That's a fact. And I still believe that systemically we are still dealing with that.
Oh, yeah.
Now watch, wait a minute. So since we went down this road, you brought that up. All right. Hey, Daniel, how many times have we been on the phone and we didn't had a conversation about the lack of equality that we are dealing with in the environments that we're in socially, the environments we are in corporately, and certainly when we start looking at the dating process, because I said this and I'm going to say it again. When a woman cheat, it's one thing. But when a man cheat, oh, it's something totally different. It's something totally different.
Well,
tell me I'm lying.
Well, in the corporate world, we know, you know, and I hope I don't get fired for this, but you know, we know that we have never been equal to our
What you say?
counterparts.
What you say?
We had to work twice, 3, 4, 5 times as hard and be that many times better than, you know, our counterparts. Okay. And so you know, it's not, I wouldn't say it's overly racist or racism, but it's packaged now in a way where they can get away with it, where they don't have to say this is what it is. Now they can just kind of act and treat you a certain way as long as it's within the guideline.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay? And so you know, it puts a chip on our shoulder as black men because, you know, when you blow them out of the water and you show that you are obviously 4 times better, you know, it doesn't get as much accolade or as much praise as the counterparts.
And I think that's one of the reasons why we've got to become our own cheerleaders. We've got to get behind one another. We've got to make sure that we're pushing each other. We got to make sure that Ashawn knows that, hey, man, we see what you're doing. And my brother knows, and he'll tell you. And Sean, you can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
Okay. Sean, how many times have I commended you for how you are fathering your sons?
Every chance you get.
Now, let me be clear. He ain't got no Bentley. No Bentley. He has not yet bought his first house, but Daniel and I, we working on getting him to that first house. He's on the move. But you know what? But you want to know why I commend him for the fathering that he's doing? Because where the father would be commended because he got $1 million in the bank, because he drive a nice car, because he got a house, because he's got social prowess and all of these other things that typically would kind of make him notable in the eyesight of the world to get him that compliment. No, it's not that. You want to know why I compliment him? Because he never allows where he lacks to interfere with his fathering of his kids. And if you want to know what's going to make a real man and make a real father, is when you can take whatever you got in your life and make it a diamond in the eyes of your sons, because his sons will say he is the best dad in the world. I have heard them say it. Now, the problem is we're trying to make the world based upon what the world says instead of making the world that makes our sons appreciate who we are, make sure our daughters know who we are. He's there. He's at the football games. He's at the school. He don't allow anything to get in the way of him leading them. He don't let none of that. Sean, how many times have you had to take off to go get your sons from school because the other parent, seemingly for whatever reason, is not available to go pick them up?
I do it when I'm at work. I don't never take off.
Gotta do it.
No,
And that's not because he doesn't want
Come on
to.
now.
That's not because he doesn't want to. It's
Talk about
because he can't.
Come on now.
He can't. He's got to make it work. Because guess what? If he takes off and he loses the income, that's going to affect his outcome at the end of the month.
Well, let me go a step further so we can just, again, let's talk about the systemic issue of the system. If by chance he don't do what he's supposed to do, the system is right there on his back to hold him accountable for every dime that he don't pay in child support, while the mother manipulates the system, knowing full well that he's holding it down, he's picking them up, he's buying the sneakers, he's buying the clothes, but the system says, but as a bad father, because that's what it is, he is critically put in a position because the system says he's a bad father because the woman said he's not doing this. And so she goes to the system and says, can you hold him accountable? Well, I got a question. Who's holding her accountable?
Nobody.
You got to fight. You got to fight 10 times as hard for that.
Yes, you
And
do.
that's my point. That's
And
my
that-
point.
10 times as hard.
That's my point.
That don't work.
Do you know, in his situation, we did everything that they asked
By the book.
to make a point about the illegitimacy of what she was doing. And do you know, at the end of the day, it did nothing. Nothing. And that is the reason why you've got men who feel like the certain kind of way about the system, because even when you do right, it still don't matter. And this is why the state of a man's heart is the way that it is. And the reason why I make sure that I keep my brother on the straight and narrow, and he's right there, and he'll confirm what I say. He will confirm it. The day his first son was born and everything started playing out, I told him, I said, I don't care what he does. You are going to stay the course and you are going to do right. Am I telling the truth, Sean?
Yes.
I said, she's going to do whatever. I don't care what happened. As long as that boy is alive, he going to be good. We going to make sure he good. Sean, is it the truth?
Absolutely.
And then I said, and as sure as the earth is a round sphere, you can just count the days that everything that she has sowed is going to come back. Sean, is it happening right now?
It definitely happened as we speak. Like
See,
right now.
I know the heart problem let me address the heart problem. I will never say that a black man has not had to deal with a whole lot. I will never say that. But you know what I will say? The black man has a favorable thing in his life, and that is a God that sees what he goes through. And when you make it clear that no matter what is done in the earth, I'm going to make sure that my relationship with God is clear. Everything that goes wrong in my life, God gonna make it right. He gonna make sure that my course is good. He gonna put the people in my life that I need. He's gonna give me the environment so I don't lose my mind while I'm trying to deal with all this crazy. He gonna make sure that where I can't provide, he gonna put somebody in my life that's gonna help me. And that is the reason why the state of the heart of the man, while we are yet going through what we go through, I appreciate men who are in our circle that's holding it down and making sure that, hey, bro, you need some help? I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Mhm.
I got you. You ain't got no.
Let me,
You ain't got to worry about that. I got you. Talk about it, Sean.
let me elaborate with what Bishop's saying about my situation. I don't mind talking about it. At one point, I used to get upset because I always ask myself, like, I'm really taking care of my son, and like I'm doing everything. Um, what made me just kind of just say, you know what, I'm gonna just let this thing play out. After I try to appeal my child support to lower the price, and when I had to deal with in the courtroom, I said, you know what, I can't beat this system. It's the system, it's the judge, and it's the mother. I couldn't beat it. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna let it play itself. I did. I did what I was supposed to do. Took care of my son, take him to school, pick him up, whatever he needed, with his clothes, anything. I did what I was supposed to do. Along with, I'm still paying child support.
And paying
Right now,
rent. And paying rent.
and I'm paying
And,
rent.
and putting the food in his mouth.
I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Right now, as I'm speaking, my son, this is no joke. My son is starting to notice it at 9 years old. Right now, he is starting to look and starting to pay attention. And I don't speak bad on her. I don't say nothing. I just take care of him to make sure that he's good, along with my young. So they see it. My youngest son, mother, we have a great relationship. We make sure that our youngest son is great, but my oldest son is paying attention and he's noticing it. I'm not saying a word. He comes to me and says, he comes to me and say, "This is what's happening. This was I'm not getting it." He's saying it. I'm not saying anything. I'm just doing what a father's supposed to do for his child. And right now, he's downstairs. Both my sons downstairs right now. They're going to go to bed. They know I'm doing everything I got to do to make sure that everything is provided. So I just continue to keep doing what I need to do, and the result I know is going to pay off. So
And
that's
trust
what
and believe that everything that you're doing is seen by other people. Your sons have definitely taken a notice to it, which I told you it was going to happen. Told you. I said at some point they're going to see it and they're going to make their own evaluation. And this is how it's going to work. Now, as I say that, uh, now I'm gonna make a hard turn because now, as we're seeing how we got to take care and do all this stuff without no apology, no matter what happens, we got to do this. Reggie, one of the other things that I know is that as we were growing up, there were certain conversations that we couldn't have. There were certain conversations we weren't allowed to be in. There were certain things that, in terms of finance and provision and all that, there's just certain that see the statement that was said to me when I was a little boy. No matter what the conversation was, if I walked into the room when there was adults, I was quickly exited out that room with this statement: "This is an adult conversation.
Stay in the child's place.
Stay in a child's place." And out the door I went. Now, the problem is, but when it was time to have conversations in terms of development, provision, financial provision, those conversations wasn't had. And so now here we are in this stage of life, and there's a lot of stuff we don't know. And one of the things that we don't know, and that's a major problem, we have no idea how to protect our families. And as Black men, and as you're hearing a man talking about protecting and taking care of his family, Reggie, I want you to chime in as we're now coming to the close of our show. I want each one of you now to take 5-10 minutes, because I'm coming to you to talk about specific provision based upon your skill and your expertise in the business. Let's have that discussion. Reggie,
Yeah.
you are in the business of estate planning. You're really very involved with men. Where are we now? How do we now take care of our families? What does that look like?
Such a fantastic question, Bishop. And again, my hats off, to your brother Sean. Um, I've been offering a service for a number of years now. For me, it's been the last 10 years. For my wife, it's been the last 19 years. She introduced it to me. And it's a service called Legal Shield. And the reason why I became so passionate about it, why I'm such an advocate for it, is because I know a million men like Sean. I know a million men like Sean who are good dads, good fathers, good husbands, but child support will beat them up. Child custody will beat them up. Divorce will beat them up. They get their rights taken advantage of left and right. Every which way they turn, somebody's taking advantage of them. And I came across something finally a number of years ago, that allows, men in some instances, more often than not, to level the playing field. But a larger conversation that, that we don't have in our community in general, like you said, Bishop, it is estate planning, and because we don't talk about money growing up, a lot of times, I grew up hearing my mom say that money didn't grow on trees. And my mom was a single parent. My parents divorced, when I was about 2 years old. So I was raised primarily by my mom. My dad did the every other weekend thing, for a little while, and then that phased out, so I grew up with, male pain, hence the book, right?
Wow.
But that estate planning piece is huge, because we don't realize that we do accumulate things as we work, and I'm granted, look, I'm looking at 5 Black men on this call right now. I'll be willing to bet that all of us have probably been working since our teen years, since the moment that we were able to earn a buck. You know what I mean? We started and we never stopped, and we've never looked back. And I probably see men in this call that are 30s, 40s, 50s, possibly older than that. Right. But we never talked about estate planning. We never talked about the things that we accumulate, our assets, how to protect them. And it's
Hey,
because
Reggie, have you ever even heard that term, estate planning?
I'd never heard that term growing up. I did not. And so much so, look, Bishop, stats say that 9 out of 10 of our folks in our community don't. We don't have it. 9 out of 10 of us don't have an estate plan.
Wow.
Across America, 7 out of 10 Americans don't have an estate plan in place. But in the minority community, 9 out of 10 of us. So that means 1 out of every 10 Black households actually has heard of it, actually has it. So it's a conversation that needs to be had. But in essence, what it is your will, right? It's your last testament. It's your last love letter to your family. Because what happens all too often in our community, first of all, and I'm sure Bishop, he'll chime in and talk about this. Somebody dies. The first thing that I can't stand,
Oh my God.
GoFundMe pops up, right? So I'm gonna leave that to the expert.
Oh my God.
But I can't stand the fact that we die, somebody's popping up a GoFundMe. But secondly, what a lot of folks don't realize is that behind the scenes, we're so quick to say that we don't have anything. I don't have anything that I would leave behind. But I've seen families fight over the flat screen TV.
Oh, they fighting over that TV.
Over
Now,
silverware.
Wait, before you go any further, we gonna fight over that TV.
Yeah. The fur coat.
I'm telling you, that is a 70-inch Samsung 4K TV.
And guess what? Siblings won't talk for 2-3 decades
over that one.
Over the
TV.
That somebody did not leave behind. So we got to have a new conversation, right? And what I love about the service that, that Bishop, now you and I are partnering together and offering to the masses, is that it's affordable. We're talking about less than $30 a month.
Mm.
We're talking about less than Popeyes.
Everybody, wait. I need everybody to listen to what he just said. Say that again, Reggie, because they don't. I don't think they believe it.
We're talking about less than $30 a month. You can protect your family. You can get your last will and testament, your living will, your medical and your financial director. So instead of spending them on them Jordans, you know, which are only gonna stay fresh for about a good 2-3 weeks.
I don't know about that, Reggie.
Well, look,
I think
hopefully
I know. So I'm gonna have to stop you right there, Reggie. You was good. You was
You did good.
you was good.
well, look, I ain't had a pair of Jordans in forever, so I don't know how long they stay fresh for.
You was doing wonderful until you said that. 'Cause I'm gonna tell you right now.
They stay
If
fresh forever.
somebody Jordans get dirty in 2 weeks, their whole Jordan card has been revoked.
Oh my goodness.
Don't find a pair of Jordans. The average Jordans last 3 years.
Oh wow!
I'm telling you, they gonna buff the shoestrings. They gonna wash the tongue. They gonna keep. They gonna make sure that them
Creases.
Jordans. They go, Bishop. Don't say that, because you know, my brother and I. Now I will say we definitely got a sneaker problem. I definitely have a shoe problem.
No, I do. I know I do.
Sean, how many
I
sneakers?
definitely
Just to give you an idea, Sean, how many sneakers did you just donate to a program that was given back for back to school? How many shoes did you donate?
Between me and my sons, about 25, 30 pair.
Wow.
Now, John, with the donation that you gave,
What's left?
Will you ever have to suffer in any way because you just gave away 30 pair of sneakers?
That don't sound like it.
No comment.
It don't sound like it.
So, Reggie, you was smoking, you was hot like fire. But when you said Jordan's last 2 weeks,
I gotta do my Jordan research next time.
You gotta go back.
You forget about Jordan's last. Let me say, Jordans. First of all, in 2 weeks, they probably only going to get worn 3 times because we can't get no creases in the Jordans. We can't get no creases in the Jordans. We can't get no creases in the Jordans. We can't do that.
You get a crease in Jordan, you might as well go and hoop in them now.
You might as well go play in them. There's no coming back. There's no coming back from the creases. There's no coming back from the creases.
Oh my!
I got kids that will walk like robots to keep from creases getting in their sneakers. That's how serious it is. That's how serious it is. And the reason why Daniel got that look on his face, because I know it's happening over there. No, it's happening. See,
I'm not. I'm not going down that road. That's not a part of my budget right now.
The crease fund.
I ain't gonna lie, it's a part of my budget. They go school fresh every day.
I'm not
they
going
go school fresh every day.
I ain't going. Now again, I'm going to take full responsibility for that because I did it to my brother. I'm going to take full responsibility for that. Matter of fact, it was so bad. I was buying sneakers. My brother was coming to my house. He was taking my sneakers, Daniel, and I didn't even know he was taking my sneakers until one day I went over to my mother's house and I looked in the closet, not even looking. I was just looking in the closet. I was like, wow, those look familiar. Like, I got a pair of those. I was like, wait a minute, I got a pair of those? I got a pair of those. So, Sean,
here's a pair of
sneakers?
Pair.
And he said, well, you wasn't wearing them.
Wow.
I couldn't wear them. You
fair point. Fair point.
You had them. And I was like, boy, just go and take the sneakers. And I mean, you take about 8-10 pair.
Wow.
You take about 8-10 pair. But the bad part was, I didn't know they was gone. I didn't know it was gone. So I'm going to take responsibility for that. Yes, that's what happened. So he's doing that because, now. So Reggie, that in the last 2 minutes. So Reggie, in that whole conversation of estate planning, you're telling me that I would actually spend more on Chinese food between me, my wife, and my son than it would take to begin the development of covering my family with a living will and making sure that my stuff don't go to probate if I die. Is that what you're telling me?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
I need you all to understand that when it's very simple, it's very, very simple. When you know better,
You do better.
it's real simple. You will not, as I started this conversation, you will not have the privilege of being able to say that that was all that you was able to do.
Mhm.
Mm-mm. You got to figure it out. And we're here to help you figure it out. This is not a beat up session. This is not to say that you're bad. We commend you for what you're doing and we commend you for how you've been able to do it. But if you need to come up, it's time to come up. It's definitely time to come up. And as I parallel that, and so Theron, so a part of estate planning is how do you fund it?
Mhm.
How do you fund that estate? How do you do that? Talk to the people about the simplicity of just getting life insurance.
Absolutely. I'm not going to be brief. I'm not going to be long because we'll be brief. Take away my theme of my church is changing the way you think. Death is not a bad thing.
Mm.
It's gonna happen. It's not if it happened. It's when it happens. So you gonna die. I ain't saying this. The Lord told you. You gonna die. So change the way you think. And also, I want you to change. Well, I'm dead and gone. It don't matter to me. If you love your loved one,
Wow.
please, ma'am, please, sir.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good
Wow.
stewardship is unto death. Set up your. Don't let them cry over you when you leave, and cry because you left your bills for them.
Wow.
If you have set up your life insurance
Wow.
before you leave here, I ain't gonna say they're gonna party a little bit more that you gone, but the grief is different. I got stories for days, but the grief, if you take care of it now, don't you didn't go. Yes, that is so true, but you left another burden on your loved ones that now they have to not only live for themselves, but take care of your remnants before they can finally rest you. So please look into it, talk to an agent to get that done. And it's many more other avenues, as Bishop asked about financing certain parts of your life, that we have the information to get to you. Please see someone. We're not trying to make a buck. We want to help you. We are servants trying to help you so that you
Absolutely.
can be better.
Absolutely. And as we say that, as we talk about estate planning, trying to make sure everything is in place so that the state don't come and snatch your stuff, funding the estate, which is the use of life insurance, and even there are other life insurance policies that you can use for investments and all of
Absolutely.
that. I mean, there's so much more that you can do with it. But here's the one thing that I think that most people don't know or really have taken in consideration. And Daniel, here's where you come in, and we're going to draw this to a close. But Daniel, I don't really think people really know the value of home ownership.
Mm.
I don't think they know. I don't think they recognize, or maybe they've not done their research to know that minus hitting the lottery or some gooder who comes in your life and just says, "Hey, here's $1 million because I just like you." Um, Many people do not know that one of the greatest ways to build wealth is home ownership. Talk to them about that. Bring us home right there. As we've gone from estate, we've gone from pairing it, making sure we're good in our preparation as we are getting ready to die, knowing that things are going to be in order when that time comes, funding it with a life insurance policy, understanding that that is certainly a part of it. And also because, like Darren said, it's a shame that we have this theory about dying but I could also give you another scenario that's actually worse than dying, and that's living and being broke. And so, Daniel, make people in these last few minutes,
Yep.
them to understand the significance of home ownership and
Sure.
how easy that really can be, even though there may be a process, but the light at the end of the tunnel is such a beautiful thing.
So I'll just start off by saying every Black person should be a homeowner.
Wow.
Okay.
Strong. Strong.
And I say that because most of the wealth that's been generated and passed down has not come from the Black community or the Black culture. Historically, in 400 years, we lacked, and we're still lacking. We're still the disparity between wealth between the Black culture is very vast. I mean, vast. I mean, I'm talking light years here. So I'll start by saying that. Also, a quick calculation so you can have a little bit of perspective when it comes to appreciation.
I love the numbers.
Comes to value. I'm a numbers guy. And so let me just put this number out, this calculation out here. The average rental payment right now in the US is at least $1,500. Okay. All right. So let's just say for 1 year, $1,500 times 12. And 1 year, that's $18,000.
Daniel, I should have told I should have waited. I should have waited.
I'm gonna just go down the path just so you can understand what's going on here.
I'm gonna have to do CPR on my guests because
$18,000
oh
in 1
my
year,
God.
right? All right, let's do 5 years times 5 years. Okay.
Oh my God.
That's $90,000 in just 5 quick years.
My God.
All right. That's not a 30-year mortgage. Okay, let's do 10 years.
Whew.
Okay. So that's $190,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is real.
10 years.
This is real. When he first
$190,000 in 10 years and most people who have rented at least 10 years. All right, let's do this. $18,000 times 20 years. $360,000. Okay. So I'm doing this so you can understand. Let me just cap it off with a 30-year calculation. $550,000 in 30 years. So all I'm saying is we all have family members who have rented 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years plus. At this point, you've spent $500,000. You might as well have bought 2 homes by now. You might as well have bought 3 homes because investment properties generate $1,500 per month in rental income, which is passive.
I need you to sound the alarm right there.
On top of that, this money that you're spending when you own a home goes directly into your equity. Okay. So this is money that you can tap into after, guess what, folks? 2 short years. 2 years. We're not talking 20. We're not talking 30. In 2 years, home values have appreciated so much in the economy where you can take money out and again, you can fund your life insurance. You can go on vacation. You can consolidate your bills. And guess what? You can rinse and repeat this cycle over and over and over, just like they do. You won't be able to do that, though, if you continue to stay in the mind frame of, I'm going to continue to rent because guess what? It's just easy. It's easy to rent. Well, guess what? It's not easy to rent. It's costing you a lot. It's costing you a lot, and you're never going to get that money back. So why not make the sacrifice for 6 short months of your life to clean up your act, get yourself together financially, put some things in play, improve your credit, and then come back and buy. You can buy a cheap home. You can buy something $150,000, $200,000 to get you started, and in 2 years' time, you can sell that and walk away $40,000 richer. You can't do that in no apartment, nowhere. That's going to springboard you into buying your next upgraded home. Okay, you put that $25,000 down. Down payment is only 3.5% of the down payment or the purchase price. You put that 20.
And you get so take that right there, because I need them to really understand how doable it really is. I
Yeah.
want you to take a scenario, take 3%. Let's say the house is $210,000.
Let's just keep it around at 200.
200,000.
All right, 3%, $6,000.
That's
Most
it.
people have that amount of money right now
In
sitting
Jordan.
in their retirement account. No, forget Jordan.
Mm.
We're talking about a retirement account, folks.
Mm.
You've been working at that job at least 5 years. I'm pretty sure you have $6,000 in there. You can take that account, or you can call up Bishop. Say, hey, Bishop, why don't you go ahead? Can you lend me a couple of dollars?
They ain't gonna help you.
You see what I'm saying? And see, what I'm saying is a
Theron
combination.
is going. Bishop Theron Mitchell is your guy.
It's a combination. So you
Bishop Theron is your guy.
Call me now.
You use some money from retirement. You use some money from Bishop Theron. You use some money from Bishop Reggie here. Like you pool the money together. Because if everybody gives a little bit, that money equals. That money adds up quickly. And so I'm just saying, as far as the bigger picture here, don't continue to waste your money and throwing it down the drain. I wish I would have bought a home 10, 15 years before I bought my home.
Yeah.
Because, although I've been in the industry and been in finance, I didn't really see the savings until I actually bought my own home. And
there's
that's
a whole bunch.
Passionate now about us people, as Black people, as a culture. The reason why we need to become homeowners is so that we can improve our own wealth position within our own networks and neighborhoods, so that we can continue to have all our networks come together and we can continue to buy from each other. We don't have to go outside of our network.
Wow.
And in order to sustain ourselves as Black
Absolutely.
people. Okay. And I'm gonna say this and that's it. This is the last thing. You look at other cultures, you look at, Asians, you go to an Asian restaurant, you don't see Black people cooking in Asian restaurants. Okay. You go to, predominantly other race Indian restaurants, they're all Indians cooking there. They're not hiring outside of their network because they don't want to.
Has anybody noticed that?
They don't want to. They hire within there because they want to keep their culture rich and strong. And so their people are buying from them. You go in there and you see people that look like them that are buying their services. They won't buy a service from you. Your service can be 10 times better, but they won't buy it from you because they want to do business with their culture. So that's the biggest takeaway right now. If we're going to have these services and we're coming together as men and we have services that we can offer to each other, then we will be the people that we need to talk to so that we can make sure that we can thrive and build our communities and our families and our networks.
Amen.
Reggie, give them your information. I want them to be able to reach out to you and contact you if they're ready to now say, you know what, you were right. I need to get myself together and get this estate planning. Give them your information so that way they can contact you.
Absolutely. Reggie Gant website is again www.serve4men.com, serve4men.com. You can reach out and contact me through the website, but you can also text or call 443-845-1766. 443-845-1766. Just text or call and say, I just want to have a quick conversation about estate plans, legal services, what have you. And it's my passion in this season, Bishop, to protect people and educate.
I love it. Bishop Theron, give them your information. So that way, if they're ready to make that commitment with life insurance, and that's really between you and I, we can help them. Give them that information so they can reach out to you.
You can reach out and hit me on the phone at 331-244-1806, or just send me an email so we can set up some time to sit down and talk at Theron. That's T as in Tango, HERON at TDM INS Group. That's TDMInsurancegroup.com. And we would love to have a conversation with you.
I love it. And then for those who are really started, Lord, that equation always blow my mind. Every time you talk about it, the numbers is just astronomical when you just look at how much money you spent in rent versus what you could have been putting back in your own pocket that whole time. Daniel, I need you to give them your information because somebody on this call, this live probably is nauseous right now, and they probably try to figure out, I got to fix this. How do I
Yeah.
get in touch with this guy that just gave me numbers that just made me vomit my Chinese food?
Yeah, so my email or direct contact, well, my number, 443-286-9072. My email line would be DMACK at NFM, which is Nancy Frank Murray, NFMlending.com. Okay. And then my website would be www.nfm, like Nancy Frank Murray, lending.com /DMACK. And then on that website, you'll see an opportunity to put an application in, get pre-approved, and then discuss your various options, whether that be for a purchase or a refinance. And so, I can be reached there 24/7.
And certainly for those of you who have homes already and you want to do a refinance, um, I can tell you right now, Daniel makes it so easy to do it. And you don't even need to take all the money out. Some of you just need a couple of dollars just to either pay some bills or, just kind of set yourself up with estate planning or whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities that are there. Take advantage of my partners who are in the business, who are doing the work. These are the guys that I partner with. My firm are partner with these guys. These are what we're doing. And then I'm just going to throw this in there. And if you are inspiring with your young child to play football and you want a coach that's really dedicated, that guy right there be the one right there. He's the one right there. And Sean, if they want to reach out to you and they want to get some direction on coaching and some of the youth programs that are out there, how can they get in touch with you?
I think he muted, Sean.
You muted? You muted? Yep, you muted. I'll bring you back. I know you didn't think I was going to do that, but that's still important too.
Yeah, hear me?
Yep,
Yeah.
there you are.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, hear me now?
There we go. Yeah.
All right. Y'all can reach me at my email at K and Kelly, Eyes and Isaiah, D as in dog, 100 .S as in Sam at gmail.com. Or you can reach out to me on my Facebook Messenger, whatever's convenient. There's a couple of youth programs. One in particular that I got my oldest son in is the Ricetown Mustangs.
Mustangs.
A very, very phenomenal program. The guy that's running the program, we coach high school together as we speak up Newtown High School. So he runs a great program. He has all age groups from 6U all the way up to 13, all across the board. So if you're aspiring to have a child to play at a young age or at any age level, that's one of the programs you can definitely have your kid come out, learn the game, understand the game, and also have fun. I wish you had time. I would definitely show y'all my oldest son uniform. He loves it.
It's fire. It's fire.
Name on the back of the jersey, everything.
It's fire. We ain't gonna let it's fire. We know it's fire.
So, but y'all can reach me anytime. I'm available 24/7. Y'all
Don't say that. Don't ever say that.
Yeah.
Don't ever say that.
Yeah.
Keep it in your mind.
Yeah,
See that right there. I see how they go. They be doing good, and then they say something crazy like that. Understand? We live in a time now where folk will be like, "Hey, I feel like I will get my kid enrolled. Let me see if he up at 2 a.m."
Mm-hmm. That's that favorite time.
Saw something on TV at 4 a.m. talking about, I feel like I want my child to get enrolled and let me see if Sean's up.
Yeah.
Don't you ever say
24/7.
that.
Yeah,
Let me tell you,
24/7.
there's two things we got to go on this. There's two things you'll never say. Number one, I'm available 24/7.
You
Don't
not.
ever say that. And
You
you
not.
never say if you need anything. Don't you ever say them words, because the only thing that they will hear is what?
Anything.
Anything. They don't hear nothing else. They're going to hear anything and they're going to see your face. So it's going to be like, you are the poster child for anything. All right? Don't say that. Don't say that. Yeah, don't use them words. From now on, Sean, you need to remove them words from your vocabulary. You the great father, you all that, but don't you ever say that no more. We need to strike that. Mr. Producer, I know we don't edit, but we need to edit that. Somebody gonna get the wrong idea because he just said I'm available 24/7. Some woman like, I wonder if he'll father my children.
Nope.
All right, listen, it's been great tonight. It's been great. I appreciate my team being on. Now, let me tell you what's getting ready to happen. This is now the prelude. We're leaving the month of August and we're going into September. I am dedicating the entire, every episode of TNT Talk Tuesday and Thursday. I am dedicating to financial literacy. That's where we're going. We are going to talk about making us better. I'm going to address every elephant in the room. I'm going to attack every ounce of wherever we are failing and we are not successful. I am going to address it. My partners are going to come back. I've got other partners that I'm going to bring on. We are going to, in depthly, like when Daniel comes back, I'm going to turn Daniel loose and we're going to go deeper into this conversation because I've got some people who have already got a home, but they don't realize the benefit of getting a next one as an investment property. And he's got the answer. He's got the answer. And then Darren and I are going to come back. Darren and I are going to come back and we're going to talk about Index Universal Life.
Yes.
Wow.
We're going to talk about Index Universal Life. I'm going to show you how you can leverage that same life insurance policy and not only build wealth for you, but your entire family line.
Yeah.
We're going to have that conversation.
Make sure you invite me back for that.
And then when Reggie comes back, we're going to talk about Legal Shield. But what he didn't tell you was that same program helps save young people's lives when you get pulled over in the wrong way, how that thing can really help you beyond just estate planning. There's some other stuff that goes along with that. And he's going to talk about that. And I've got other partners that are going to be coming on. I've got my brothers that's going to come on. We're going to talk about credit. We're going to get real dirty and talk about credit because it is no longer acceptable that you just gonna walk around and your credit's bad. This is not a cash society anymore, ladies and gentlemen. You can forget about that. Now credit matters. We got to fix it. So we're going to talk about all these things, and I am dedicating the entire September to talk about financial literacy so that we can be better. My partners are going to come back, bring back some other partners. It's going to be good. You're going to be better because of the TNT platform. Listen, I've enjoyed being with you all tonight. Again, thank my brothers for being on tonight and the expertise that they offer to the community and making people better. I appreciate you guys staying up, being with me on tonight. You made a difference and you may not know it, but somebody's going to watch this and they're going to say, you know what? I need to connect with Reggie. I need to connect with Daniel. I need to connect with Theron. I need to connect with Sean because of the things that you all do. And I appreciate you all lending yourself and being on this broadcast tonight. Listen, everybody have a great, great, great weekend. We are moving into this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's football season. It's football season. Let's talk about them Ravens, because I don't care what nobody say. Patrick Mahomes
Mr.
is
Producer,
good.
I think you can sign off now.
He is not Lamar Jackson, who is the MVP going into this season. Who is the MVP? That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say.
Mitch,
That's all I got to say. What? Did you just say?
I'm packing it up. I got because I always see this conversation going on. I can't.
Mitchell, you are blasphemous.
I said, listen, it was fun while it lasted.
Yes, it is.
Man, let's produce. We got to get out of here. I got blasphemy coming out of this man's mouth now.
Yeah,
listen, everybody, enjoy your weekend. It's been great. TNT Talk Thursday night edition. We'll see you back here Tuesday night for the Tuesday night edition. It's financial literacy. Get on and get better. Everybody have a great evening. We'll see you on Tuesday. Take care.
All right, everybody have a good night.
All right, fellas.